Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the atomic bomb and the end of World War II and some of the effects of it. The atomic bomb is going to be used by the United States to end World War II. The decision to use the atomic bomb really came after the predictions of how high the death tolls would be to invade Japan. During World War II, there had been an ongoing project making of the atomic bomb, and this was known as the Manhattan Project. It was like the world's, I would say the world's best kept secret, but definitely America's best kept secret. The people who worked there, no one ever said anything, like no one really had any idea this was happening. And the Manhattan Project was developing the atomic bomb. This was happening in Alamogordo, New Mexico, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't anyone around. So question, what was the name of the atomic bomb project in the U.S.? A, the main project. B, the Manhattan Project. What was the name of the atomic bomb project in the United States? So we have Fat Man and Little Boy. These are going to be the two bombs that are dropped on Japan. The call was made to use an atomic bomb to end World War II instead of invading Japan. And on August 6th of 1945, a B-29 bomber, it was named the Enola Gay, is going to drop a bomb named Little Boy over Hiroshima. So Hiroshima will be the first spot where the atomic bomb was dropped. The United States waits for 3 days to see if Japan will surrender. Japan does not surrender, and 3 days later, the United States will drop a second bomb on Nagasaki. This one will be named Fat Man. So Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Following this, the United States will wait for Japan to surrender. Japan still doesn't surrender until the United States threatens to drop a third atomic bomb. This is just the plane, so you can see this is the Enola Gay. This is the plane that dropped that first atomic bomb. This is what a B-29 looks like. Here's the Enola Gay as it's taking off to go towards Japan. And this is just to remind you, Hiroshima is going to be the first place the atomic bomb is dropped, and Nagasaki will be the second. Once the bombs are dropped, today we know the devastation that atomic bombs have. Back then they had no idea. They had really had no clue of what the effects were going to be, what the decimation was going to be. And so following the bomb, this is what you're looking at for Hiroshima. I mean, there's just nothing left. Here's some more pictures of Hiroshima. You can see this is a burn victim of the atomic bomb. It burned so hot that the pattern from this woman's dress was actually burned onto her skin. The shadows of people could be burned onto walls. The effects of radiation hit very hard. Following this, there's still effects of the drops of the two bombs in these two areas of Japan. Here's some pictures of Nagasaki. So you can just see it, just complete destruction. So question, what was the name of the location of the first atomic bomb that was dropped? So where was the very first atomic bomb dropped? A, Hiroshima, B, Nagasaki, or C, Tokyo? What was the name of the location the first atomic bomb was dropped? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, or Tokyo? Japan will surrender on September 2nd of 1945. Okinawa is the very last battle of World War II. So Okinawa is the last battle of World War II. What you're looking at is this is on the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. This is Japan's formal surrendering. This is the U.S. accepting that formal surrender. What was the last battle of World War II? Iwo Jima or Okinawa? What was the last battle of World War II? Iwo Jima or Okinawa? This leads to VJ Day celebration. VJ Day is Victory in Japan Day, the official end of the war for the United States, World War II for the United States and the Allies. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is another one of those iconic pictures of World War II. It always looks super romantic. You're like, wow. But the story behind this picture is always one of my favorites. And what happened was the sailor just grabbed this nurse, just grabbed her off the street and kissed her. Well, the photographer took the picture, but if the photographer had taken another picture, this woman was so upset that this random guy just grabbed her and kissed her. Like, you can't do that. If you look at her hand, you can see she literally hauled off and just whacked him as soon as this was done. So while most people think this is a super romantic picture of two people celebrating, no, she hauled off and whacked him for, forcing him to kiss her. So what were the effects of World War II? Well, there's going to be a Yalta conference, which is where Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin will meet to kind of talk about terms of surrender and what to do with Germany. In this, Roosevelt and Stalin are going to come up with some plans and some ideas. What will happen is when Roosevelt dies and Truman comes in, Truman won't have any idea of any of these. And so when Truman doesn't follow through with what Roosevelt said he would do with Stalin, it leads to a lot of distrust between Stalin and the United States, which will kind of begin the beginning of this Cold War that we'll talk about for our next units. So what they decide at the Yalta conference is they will divide Germany into 4 zones. One will be controlled by France, one will be controlled by the Soviet Union, one by England, and one by the United States. So they divide Germany up into 4 areas. When we're talking about loss of life in World War II, the total life loss will be over 52 million. You can see for the United States, 405,000. Wounded are another 671,000. Germany, the Soviet Union, and Japan. So you can see Poland, civilian-wise, is going to be have extremely high casualty numbers, and this is going to be due to the number of Jewish lives that were lost in the Holocaust. So when we look at World War II, the amount of lives lost, both military and civilian, are extremely, extremely high. And this, we're going to end with a World War II monument. This is found in Washington, D.C., one of many monuments that are there.